everyone, welcome to Real French Food. I'm Olivia Saez. We're making a Bernaise sauce. Usually you make this sauce for maybe a steak or a different kind of really fancy dish, but I love having this sauce. It's nice and tangy. It's got a little bit of vinegar. It's a really nice sauce to have on just about anything. So we're gonna make it. It's gonna be low carb. It's gonna be low calorie too. So we're really going to have a fun time with this. Don't forget, patience is key with this dish. You have to be totally immersed in making this and just have patience with it. So we're going to start with our white wine vinegar. I'm going to use probably about a quarter of a cup. If you want to use less, you can as well. That way it won't be so tangy, but we're also going to put white wine in this, and we're going to do the same amount. So we're going to get up to about a half a cup of liquid total. So quarter of a cup of vinegar, quarter of a cup of white wine. And then we're going to take a saucepan and we're going to pour our liquid in there. To this, I'm going to add about a tablespoon and a half of shallots, already chopped, already really finely cut. I'm going to put those in there. And then I have tarragon as well. I love tarragon. It's one of my absolute favorite herbs. I've got about a tablespoon of that in there as well. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it on our stove, and we're going to allow the juices and the liquid to really simmer down so that it's not nearly as tangy with that vinegar, and you really have about a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of liquid left. Okay, so we're going to turn our heat on. It's going to be a relatively high heat. You really want your liquid to really boil so that it starts to simmer down. You want the alcohol from the white wine to burn off, and you want the white wine vinegar to also simmer down, get rid of that really intense acidity so you have a nice soft sauce. Otherwise you're just going to have a mouthful. It's just going to be too puckered taste. So we're really going to let this simmer pretty hard. You're going to cook your shallots as well while you're doing this, and then the flavor of the tarragon is really going to come out and really blend everything together. So we'll just give it a little stir. Now the reason why you want it to cook down as well is that you don't want too much liquid when we include the rest of our ingredients. So we're actually going to put egg yolks into our sauce here. The egg yolks will definitely have to go into a sauce that's a little bit more cooled down, otherwise you risk cooking those egg yolks. You don't want to do that. You don't want lumps, you don't want scrambled eggs, you want just a nice smooth sauce. So we're just going to go ahead and let this simmer for a couple more minutes. And it is okay if it's simmering a little too hard, but if you're a little nervous and you think it's going to boil over because you have a smaller dish or anything like that, you can go ahead and turn it down. So now we have really reduced quite a bit our liquid. We're going to turn our heat off, and we're just going to let our sauce sit for a couple of minutes. We want the steam to go away. We want the heat to really reduce as much as possible so that, again, when we put those eggs in, they don't start to curdle and cook. So we're going to use this wire whisk to go ahead and make our sauce. And I'm just going to stir it up to kind of help it cool down a lot faster. Okay, so we've let it cool just for a couple of minutes. We're going to take 2 egg yolks. Now, the egg whites that you separate from this, keep it for breakfast tomorrow morning. Don't waste any part of the egg. You can mix it with some whole eggs for breakfast and have all of the wonderful nutritious parts of eggs that you can get. So what we're going to do, we're going to take these 2 yolks, we're going to dump them into our sauce and immediately start stirring. And really mix with our whisk so that we don't risk any curdling. And this is the part where you need patience. You really have to stir, 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 stir quickly until the sauce begins to thicken. And I already see it starting to do that. So we are having some success today. Don't be discouraged if your sauce doesn't thicken right away. I have thrown out, started over so many of these sauces. It's not an easy task to begin with. I'm going to be honest with you. But practice it. Try again. You don't succeed, try again. Eventually you'll get it. So we're going to keep stirring. Now that our sauce is starting to get a little frothy, I'm going to turn my heat back on. And I'm going to keep it really low, just really low. I don't need it to be high. I'm not trying to cook my sauce here. I'm just trying to help it thicken. Keep an eye on the sauce. You don't want any curdling. You don't want any cooking. So this heat, if you start to see any lumps from the egg, turn it off. I'm actually starting to see, so I'm turning my heat off. And we're almost there. Look at that. Really starting to thicken up now. All right, so our very last step here is to take a pinch of our salt and pepper blend, which is the 1 part salt, 2 parts pepper. Throw that in there. Really stir it up. And we're gonna let this cool for just a minute and let that final thickening stage really set in. Okay, so we're totally cool and we're going to pour this on our chicken. Okay, so I have already plated my chicken. I have some nice vegetable and potato on the side, and we're gonna take a little bit of our sauce. Oh, yum. Oh my God, I'm gonna eat this oh, it's so good. And look how nice and thick and fluffy this sauce is. It's just perfect. It's got a little tang from that vinegar, a little sweetness from the white wine, and the tarragon and everything. It's delicious. So you have your Bernaise sauce. And again, if you don't have it work out the first time, no big deal. It's just a little bit of ingredients. Just try it again and it'll come out really good. À votre santé.